When we think about the golden age of Hollywood, we often picture a glamorous world led by white actors. However, the real picture is more complicated. Behind the bright lights and polished images were actors with mixed-race backgrounds who often kept that part of their identity hidden, downplayed, or sometimes embraced. They had to navigate a system that was hesitant to accept America's multiracial reality. Before Halle Berry became the first Black woman to win a Best Actress Oscar in 2002, and before stars like Keanu Reeves and Dwayne Johnson became major box office draws, a small group of biracial performers was already making their mark in classic Hollywood. These pioneers broke through racial boundaries during a time when many states had laws against interracial marriage, and studios closely controlled their stars' public images. This is more than just a history lesson about Hollywood. What you're about to learn might change how you see some of the most famous performances in film. Understanding the challenging racial experiences these performers faced, sometimes passing as white, sometimes showing their mixed heritage, and sometimes being pushed into narrow stereotypes, will give you a new perspective on their work. From early film legends to Hollywood icons, these 12 remarkable biracial actors challenged the strict racial rules of their time. Their stories show not only personal bravery, but also highlight the complicated racial issues that always lie underneath Hollywood's polished exterior. Issues the studio system often tried to hide. Get ready to meet 12 biracial actors from old Hollywood whose mixed heritage deeply impacted their careers while they opened doors for future generations. 1. Merle Oberon, the star who hid her Indian heritage. Merle Oberon was a captivating actress known for her roles in films like Wuthering Heights and The Dark Angel. While the studio portrayed her as having British parents from Tasmania, the truth was more complex. Estelle Merle O'Brien Thompson was born in Bombay, India, to a British father and mother of mixed Indian and Maori heritage. Due to the racial bias of her time, an elaborate false biography was created, presenting her grandmother as her mother and disguising her real mother as a maid. When birth records were destroyed in Tasmania, it became easier to maintain this deception. The pressure of hiding her factual background took a significant psychological toll on Oberon, leading her to avoid returning to Australia and ultimately denying her heritage until she died in 1979. Despite achieving great success, Oberon's story is a poignant reminder of the challenges faced by mixed-race individuals in Hollywood, where racial prejudice could have derailed her career if her true ancestry had been revealed. Ironically, her mixed heritage contributed to her allure, as audiences were drawn to her exotic and mysterious beauty. 2. Carol Channing, the Broadway legend who revealed her Black ancestry at 80. Did you know that Carol Channing, a famous Broadway star known for her roles in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Hello, Dolly, kept a family secret for years? At age 80, she revealed that her father was Black. In her 2002 memoir, Channing explained that her father, George Channing, had passed as white and only shared their heritage with her when she was 16. He worried it might affect her career, saying, "You will be stigmatized." This revelation changes how we view her career, especially since Hello, Dolly was later adapted with all-Black casts, which she supported without sharing her personal connection to the reason. Once she disclosed her heritage, Channing felt proud. She noted that her father told her about their mixed-race background, saying that if she ever had a child, it could also be of color, which she thought would be wonderful. Channing kept this secret to navigate the entertainment industry's challenges of her time. Still, it's interesting to think about how her knowledge of her ancestry might have influenced her performances, which audiences loved for decades without knowing this part of her story. 3. Freddie Washington, the actress who refused to pass as white. Freddie Washington was a talented actress in the 1930s who could have easily passed as white due to her light skin and beauty. However, she proudly embraced her Black heritage, which limited her career opportunities in Hollywood. She is best known for her role in the 1934 film Imitation of Life, where she played a light-skinned Black woman who chooses to pass as white, opposite Washington's real-life decision. Born to Black and white parents in Savannah, Georgia, Washington's unique appearance led to false rumors that she altered her look to appear Black. In reality, she stayed true to her natural features. Despite pressure from studio executives to pass as white for better roles, Washington refused, declaring, "I am a Negro and I am proud of it." This choice restricted her to a few black roles when such opportunities were limited. Eventually, she became a civil rights activist, co-founding the Negro Actors Guild in 1937 to push for better roles for black actors. She also wrote for the black newspaper, The People's Voice, advocating against discrimination in the industry. Washington's life illustrates a striking contrast to her character in Imitation of Life. She embraced her identity, becoming a pioneer for authentic representation in Hollywood. 4. Ramon Navarro, the silent film idol of Mexican and indigenous descent. Ramon Navarro, born José Ramón Gil Samaniego in Durango, Mexico, rose to fame as the lead in the silent film Ben-Hur 1925 and became a major star for MGM during the transition to sound films. Despite his Spanish and indigenous Yaqui ancestry, the studio emphasized his Spanish heritage while downplaying his indigenous roots to market him as an exotic leading man. This marketing strategy allowed Navarro to play romantic roles alongside white actresses during a time of strong anti-miscegenation sentiments. His career reflects the complex racial dynamics of early Hollywood, where certain ethnic identities were acceptable for leading roles, allowing him to navigate the balance between exotic and relatable. Unlike many of his contemporaries who altered their names, Navarro kept his Hispanic identity. Although proud of his heritage, Hollywood often presented him primarily as Spanish. His popularity waned as the silent film era ended, partly due to his accent and shifting industry standards on ethnic representation. Today, Navarro's performances show the complicated negotiation of race and identity in a time when Hollywood distorted ethnic backgrounds. 5. Dorothy Dandridge, the first black woman nominated for Best Actress. Dorothy Dandridge was the first black woman nominated for a Best Actress Oscar for her role in Carmen Jones, 1954. Coming from a multiracial background, she faced challenges in Hollywood that made it difficult for her to be categorized. While her light skin allowed her to access some roles, studios hesitated to cast her in romantic scenes with white actors or roles representing interracial relationships. This limited her opportunities despite her talent. Tragically, Dandridge's career reflected the tragic mulatto stereotype often seen in films of that era. Despite her nomination, she faced discrimination and was seated at the back of the Oscar ceremony, highlighting the racial divides of the time. She experienced financial struggles and personal hardships in her later years, ultimately passing away at 42. Her story illustrates the complexities of being a biracial performer in a rigidly segregated industry. 6. Anthony Quinn, the Mexican-Irish actor who played every ethnicity. This next star could play almost any ethnicity except his own, becoming Hollywood's go-to actor for roles needing an exotic look. His mixed Mexican-Irish heritage was mostly ignored. Anthony Quinn, born Antonio Rodolfo Quinn, Oaxaca in Mexico, won 2 Oscars and portrayed various characters, from a Greek in Zorba, the Greek, to an Arab in Lawrence of Arabia and an Italian in La Strada. His mixed background allowed him to fit into various roles, but studios often highlighted different parts of his heritage based on the character, rarely acknowledging his indigenous roots. Quinn started his career playing stereotypical ethnic villains before gaining more diverse roles. His big break came in Viva Zapata, 1952, as Marlon Brando's brother, a rare instance where he played a Mexican character like himself. Even with his fame, Quinn struggled with being typecast as the ethnic character. He remarked that he sometimes forgot his identity with many roles across different nationalities. His ability to adapt to various ethnicities was both a strength and a sign of Hollywood's issues with race, as studios often preferred versatile actors over those specific to a role. Watching Quinn's performances, it's essential to consider how his real-life biracial identity added depth to characters that could have been reduced to stereotypes. These stories reveal performers who faced challenges in Hollywood and navigated its racial boundaries, showing how they succeeded in a system that often overlooked their full identities. 7. Canada Lee, the actor who refused to compromise. Canada Lee, born Leonard Lionel Cornelius Kanagata, was a notable black actor in the 1940s known for roles in Lifeboat and Body and Soul. Unlike many actors of his time, he refused to play stereotypical roles, choosing instead to identify as black and advocate for civil rights. Despite having the option to pass as white for more opportunities, Lee became politically active and spoke out against Hollywood's discrimination. This activism made him a target during the McCarthy era, leading to his blacklisting as a supposed communist sympathizer. Unlike other blacklisted actors who later found work, Lee faced severe consequences and never regained his career. Though he was offered a chance to protect himself by naming others to the House Un-American Activities Committee, he declined. The stress from being blocked contributed to his health problems, and he died from a heart attack at just 45 years old in 1952. Lee's commitment to his principles ultimately cost him his life, making him a significant figure in the fight against racial injustice in Hollywood. 8. Josephine Baker, the international star America rejected. Josephine Baker became famous in Europe as a dancer, singer, and actress, facing racial prejudice in the United States. Born to a black mother and a father of mixed descent, her light brown skin and European features made her popular in France, where she moved in 1925. Despite her success, returning to America in the 1930s exposed her to harsh racism, with critics labeling her derogatorily and denying her service at venues where she performed. In France, her mixed background was seen as exotic, while in America, she was classified strictly as black, limiting her opportunities. Baker became a French citizen and contributed to the resistance during World War II, receiving military honors in France, recognition she never received in America. Her story illustrates biracial performers' struggles in the U.S. and how she found success by leaving behind the rigid racial categories of her home country. 9. Jennifer Jones, the Oscar winner with hidden Cherokee ancestry. Jennifer Jones, an Oscar-winning actress, rose to fame with her role in The Song of Bernadette, 1943, and starred in movies like Duel in the Sun and Love is a Many-Splendored Thing. Despite her significant Cherokee ancestry from her mother, her Native American heritage was downplayed mainly in Hollywood, which typically emphasized her father's background. In Duel in the Sun, 1946, she played a mixed-race character labeled half-breed, which reflected her own background that she didn't publicly acknowledge. Her career flourished partly due to her marriage to powerful producer David O. Selznick, who shaped her image and career choices. Jones treated her mixed heritage as a private matter, showcasing the varied responses of biracial individuals in Hollywood, from concealment to advocacy. Her performances, especially in films addressing racial themes, invite viewers to consider how her experiences might have influenced her portrayals of characters facing similar challenges. 10. Lena Horne, the star who challenged stereotypes. Lena Horne was a talented performer known for her beauty and musical skills. She was among the first black actresses to sign a long-term deal with MGM, a major Hollywood studio. Born to a mixed heritage family, Horne's lighter skin gave her certain advantages, but it also created challenges in her career. Horne stood out by refusing to accept stereotypical roles like maids and included a clause in her contract to avoid such parts. This meant her appearances were mostly in musical sequences, which could be cut in southern states that resisted mixed-race representation. Rather than pass for white, Horne used her unique position to fight for better roles for black performers. Her frustration with Hollywood pushed her to focus on music and civil rights, and she participated in significant events like the 1963 March on Washington. In the movie Cabin in the Sky, she played a temptress but didn't use a dialect, showcasing her commitment to dignity, even when it conflicted with industry expectations. Horne's performances, especially in films like Stormy Weather, reflect her struggle to balance opportunity with her principles. 11. James Edwards, the actor who challenged stereotypes. James Edwards was a groundbreaking actor known for portraying complex and dignified black characters in Hollywood films during a time when such roles were rare. Born to mixed African-American and Native American parents, Edwards gained recognition for his role in Home of the Brave, 1949, which tackled racial prejudice issues. Edwards often refused stereotypical roles, even if it meant periods of unemployment. He used his platform to advocate for better representation of Black Americans in film, working alongside the NAACP. Notable films like The Steel Helmet, 1951, and The Phoenix City Story, 1955, allowed him to address important racial issues and bring depth to his characters. While he was mainly cast as black, regardless of his mixed heritage, his performances challenged stereotypes and opened doors for future actors of color. In films like Home of the Brave, Edwards infused his roles with a personal understanding of race, adding an essential layer to his performances. 12. Ricardo Montalban, the actor who fought Hispanic stereotypes. Our final entry highlights Ricardo Montalban, a Mexican-born actor who worked to improve representation for Hispanic performers while navigating his own mixed heritage. He became one of Hollywood's most successful Hispanic stars, challenging stereotypes with roles in MGM musicals and as Mr. Rourke on Fantasy Island. Montalban's appearance allowed him to portray characters of various ethnicities, including Native Americans and Japanese characters in Sayonara, 1957. Unlike many actors of his time, he consistently advocated for the authentic representation of Hispanic characters. He balanced working within the system by accepting roles like Khan in Star Trek and founding the Nosotros Foundation in 1970 to promote opportunities for Hispanic actors and challenge negative stereotypes. Montalban's experience highlighted the limited roles available to Hispanic performers compared to Black actors. He accepted available roles while fighting for better representation, emphasizing dignity in characters regardless of ethnicity. His career reflects both success within Hollywood and efforts to change it from within. The stories of these 12 remarkable performers. The stories of 12 biracial performers from Hollywood's golden age highlight how their mixed identities influenced their careers. Some, like Merle Oberon, hid their backgrounds to succeed, while others, like Freddie Washington, embraced their Black identity despite facing challenges. Studios' treatment of these actors reflects America's complicated views on race. Studios capitalized on the appeal of mixed-race stars while controlling how their identities were portrayed. These performers' experiences raise important questions about representation in film today. Their struggles reveal how society can limit individual expression, while their achievements inspire us. Understanding the racial challenges they faced helps us appreciate